Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. If this is your first time on Saturday mornings with Saturday Morning React Tunes, welcome, because today we'll be watching Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 1, Beyond the Farthest Star. Now, full disclosure, before I'd even watched Star Trek, the original series for the channel, I started simultaneously with the animated series. I got, I think, 3 episodes into it and realized I had no idea what was going on and that I was going to ruin it for myself. So now, after having completed the original series, it is time once again to officially and correctly go into the animated series to see what adventures await us in year 4 of our 5-year mission. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for a little animated Star Trek. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider sticking with us on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to continue our mission as we watch Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 1, Beyond the Farthest Star. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And for the first time this series, away we go! You gonna tell us about the final frontier, Jim?
Space,
Going ready?
the final frontier.
Take us home, James. I think someone told me that everybody's in this except for Chekhov, and they were like trying to save money. Interesting. Written by Samuel A. Well, I know that name. That's one of our TOS writers. I think.
On outward course beyond the fringe of our galaxy towards Questar M17.
Questar.
Mission? Star charting.
Oh. What do we got, Sulu?
2 minutes right ascension off course and drifting farther, Captain.
Stand by to reverse course.
Standing by, sir.
I remembered there's an alien at navigation, Arex, A-R-E-X, or just Rex, something like that.
Gravity, Captain. More powerful than any we've ever encountered. It's dragging the Enterprise toward it.
Why aren't our sensors picking it up? Forward scanners, Mr. Sulu.
Hypergravity.
Captain, that's the source of the radio emissions.
The planet?
Captain, we're still gaining speed.
Full reverse thrust.
No good, sir.
I think my Swiss cheese brain is actually helping me in this one because I remember nothing. I don't remember this at all.
39. 38.
Sulu, flank speed ahead. Our only chance is to try to get into orbit around that thing.
Aye, aye, Captain.
We all know that if there's a countdown, Sulu's the one that usually gives it.
8. 7.
Cutting this pretty close, guys. Okay, we're in orbit.
I'm getting that radio sound again, sir. 9 seconds right ascension from galactic plane. Dead ahead and closing fast.
There's like a lot of jargon.
Put us alongside, Mr. Sulu.
Aye, aye, sir.
Oh, then we can pull away from the planet. I remember this.
Starship. Like nothing I've ever seen. The size of it.
It's been damaged.
The things they could do with animation. Truly alien spaceships.
Temperature is absolute zero. There's no thermal reading to support life aboard her, and no energy store to send radio messages.
Then how are we getting one?
Can you identify that metal or the design of the ship?
Negative to both, Captain. Unknown alloy.
Wow.
Harder and lighter than any registered metal. Retroanalysis of the ship's spectra dates it as having been in orbit here for slightly more than 300 million years.
Oh, so just a little while.
A civilization that advanced 300 million years ago before life even emerged on Earth.
Barely an instant in eternity, Jim.
Even in animation. A contrarian.
We'll board her, Mr. Spock. Scotty, Bones, you'll come with us. We'll need life support belts. Mr. Sulu, have the transporter room stand by.
I remember the life support belts. I thought they were really cool. They put them on and it gives them like a force field. Yeah, those are cool.
The hexagonal shape of the windows suggests a similarity to natural insect designs of Earth. The honeycombs of bees.
I love truly alien stuff.
This metal, it isn't cast or rolled. It was drawn into filaments and spun.
Like a spider spins his web.
That is awesome.
Every pod. They've all been burst open.
Aye, from the inside.
Yeah, from the inside.
I believe we must consider the alternative possibility that the crew of this ship destroyed her themselves.
How do we get that, though?
We have beamed aboard the alien ship found orbiting a strange dead star.
Or the ship killed the crew.
The Enterprise is recording all data for the log and full report later.
It's almost like people were ejected out of these, like, tears of a metal harder and stronger than anything we've ever met.
Lieutenant, are you still getting that radio signal from the ship?
Negative, Captain. It stopped transmitting when you beamed aboard. Transporter beam on and locked. Standing by.
Man, I wish they would have had, if they would have had these on Saturday mornings whenever I was a kid, I probably would have watched Star Trek, the original series.
It's registering energy. Very little, but building.
You mean it's functioning?
I thought everything was off. You guys triggered it when you landed.
Receptors to attract energy. Motion, sound, light, heat. Every kind of energy around them.
You all turned it on.
The fear of primitive people confronting something unknown to them.
Compared to the beings that built this ship, we are primitive people, even you, Mr.
Yeah.
Spock.
Terrible insult to Spock. Captain, I was trying to insult the rest of you. I didn't want to be included in that. I'm not sure how the phaser shot would have done that, but who am I to judge?
Both air and gravity within 2 points of Earth normal.
Enterprise, do you read me? Sulu.
No use, Captain. Some sort of interference has been set up.
This metal is hard as hell.
Something's drained them.
You mean we're trapped here? No communication? Nothing?
For the moment.
The belts are gone too, and there's no force fields.
The source of the interference is here, Captain. It's not part of the normal equipment. It's like something they jury-rigged during an emergency.
Something to shield this room.
Possibly from whatever had come aboard their ship.
But nothing, no form of life could survive 300 million years.
No known form of life.
Right.
Something is trying to get in. The field of interference is reacting against the magnetic flux lines, Captain.
Will it hold?
If the energy stays at that level.
Okay. Truly alien.
It seems to keep repeating.
A message from 300 million years ago.
How the hell are you going to translate that?
I may be able to get a translation.
I'm a little concerned that I don't remember more of this. Yikes.
Danger.
There it is.
Red star. We are being drawn to it.
I have subtitles on. The Dead Star.
If you understand this message, you are protected only for this moment in this room.
Oh, wow. Dear. Wow.
Hurry!
Nice job.
We're locked on and beaming them aboard.
Good work, Mr. Kyle. I thought we lost him when we were cut off so long.
Mr. Kyle with a handlebar mustache.
Something beamed aboard with you.
Yikes.
Transport it back out.
Out of the way, Kyle. That's in the systems. No, it's everywhere. Well, it sounds pleasant. It's just giggling maniacally. I guess it's not a giggle. Cackling maniacally.
Automatic bridge defense system on and prepared, sir.
Oh, wow. Wonder what that thing does.
The message said that they had to destroy their own ship.
Until we learn more about it, Scotty, perhaps we should be ready to do the same. Take 2 of your men and arm the self-destruct device in the engineering core.
Aye, sir.
We jumped to that pretty quick.
But the level isn't constant. It seems to fluctuate. A steady, almost pulsing rhythm.
Like the beating
Heartbeat.
of a heart.
Yep.
Captain, Decks 5 and 6 report shutdown of all life support systems. They've gone to life support belts. Manual override is not responding.
It's trying to kill everybody.
Bones, get down to the engineering core on the double.
Hey, Christine. I think that's her.
This belt won't hold that weight for long, Jim.
Oh, shit.
Something's jammed the circuits. They're magnetized.
All right, get the cutter beams on that hatch. Move.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go. You know what I'm shocked about? Again, one of the things I guess I didn't remember. This isn't like a cartoon. This is animated, high level language and everything. Like they're not shying away from the jargon whatsoever.
Sir, we cannot get into the core.
The cutter beams.
Drained of all energy, sir.
Power out on all but key levels, Captain. High magnetic flux reading.
What?
Can you rig a low-frequency shield like the one on the alien ship on our navigation console?
It would have a very small field.
Do it.
Do it.
It's activated, Captain, but only an area 3 meters square.
That's not bad, dude.
Jim, you don't think that's going to help us. Whatever that thing is, it survived millennia in a dead hawk. All it has to do here is outlast us and just take over.
No.
Bones, what are we going to do then, bud?
And it needs a starship to break free and a crew to man it.
You are correct, Captain James T. Kirk. And I have the starship I've waited for so long.
I remember this. This is a really cool sequence.
It has absorbed the memory banks, Captain. All of them.
You will now remove the static shield from the navigation console, Captain James T. Kirk.
No.
All non-essential systems are extinguished. You will obey me.
No. Oh, you die.
No, Captain.
I'll obey. Let him go.
Spock was under that beam for quite a bit.
It is a magnetic organism without mass, but capable of symbiotic relationship with a host body. A starship, for instance.
Really?
It has become the Enterprise.
That's not good.
The magnetic flux readings are higher. It is growing stronger, building itself.
Can you compute it in your mind? If we try to use ship's computers...
The alien will know.
My money's on you, Spock.
This symbiote can reproduce itself by mitosis and take over every starship we encounter.
Oh, boy.
Controls activated.
Ah, cool shot.
Obey me.
He's got the force field on, it looks like.
Do not destroy the ship. Obey. Obey. Obey.
Woo!
Activate warp drive.
Please. Don't.
It's begging. I remember this part.
Is it gone?
Affirmative. It fled the ship when it thought we would crash into the dead star.
Don't leave me alone.
This part.
So lonely.
Wow.
Resuming outward course beyond the farthest star of our galaxy. Mission star charting.
That's so cool. It's like a bite-sized piece of track. Great, great stuff, my friends. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 1, Beyond the Farthest Star. And the only thing left to do is talk about it a little bit. All right, everybody, we just finished Beyond the Farthest Star, the first episode of the first season of Star Trek, the animated series. Now, once again, I have seen this one, and I believe the two that are the second and the third episode. I didn't remember a lot about the top of this episode, but I did remember that final plea from the alien, which I thought was incredibly heartfelt. You know, again, you have this creature that was absolutely an adversary to the Enterprise, but all of a sudden, I mean, that plea was so, I mean, it tugs on the heartstrings. So what, 300 million years, presumably, it had been on that planet just waiting for something to get close enough to jump into, and then it had it, and then it lost it, and it got to watch the Enterprise fly away. That's tough, even for something that was obviously, looking for like to annihilate the galaxy or take over everything. Like they said, it could, replicate itself and spread itself throughout all these systems. It couldn't be helped. But again, boy, oh boy, and you're dealing probably with something too that I don't care how high level the intellect is. 300 million years alone. I mean, it's got to be, I don't want to say like mentally destabilized, but I would definitely say it was susceptible to, whatever would be its equivalent of like psychosis or something of that nature. You just can't spend that much time alone. You know what I mean? And goodness gracious, that was I thought it was a really cool, almost like this is what happens when we were going between two episodes of the original series. Like this was the 35-minute detour that kind of happened that they didn't really, I mean, it makes it into a log, but it's not big enough for a full episode. It's just like another day, it's a Tuesday for the Enterprise. I love it. It's like a continuation of like, there's so many more stories out there that maybe we couldn't actually have touched on, or there was a broader or bigger story to tell. And instead, we have the opportunity to be able to see these little bite-sized bits. And I like that quite a bit. All right, everybody, and this episode was written by Samuel Peebles. Now, the reason why I remembered that name, and again, I had to look this up. I remembered the name enough to know that I should know it from the original series, but not exactly where it came from. So having gone back through my notes and looked at it, this was the writer of Where No Man Has Gone Before, our de facto pilot for the original series, the second one after The Cage that they decided not to use and went instead with The Man Trap. But I think it's cool about that, though, because technically, we had the person that wrote what would have been the official pilot for the original series and Where No Man Has Gone Before was brought back to write the official pilot for the animated series in Beyond the Farthest Star. So I'm sure that they meant to do that. You know what I mean? And we don't have a Q&A for the animated series because I wanted it to be a little bit looser. I wanted it to be, not so. I wanted to reserve the Q&As and things like that for the big series, like, the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and that stuff, to make sure that, just to add a little bit more to them. Not that I'm trying to discredit the animated series or anything like that, but they're shorter episodes, and honestly, I didn't really know how much I could pull from it, you know what I mean, as far as like we wouldn't have guest stars and all that type of stuff. So I decided, well, we'll just go through it like this and talk about it briefly and see exactly, what this does to contribute to the lore that is Star Trek. And if we're going by that, I think that this first episode was a really interesting little take on it, and I'll tell you why. Just with this first episode of animation, you could see like what was behind the veil of cost effectiveness for Star Trek, the original series. The first opportunity they have a chance to show an alien ship, they go all out. They make it as alien and squid-like with these different type of like capsules attached to these like meandering, completely foreign to any of the starships that we have seen before, as far as like, I mean, in a way, like it's elegance, the way that they said it was woven metal. That was the hardest thing they'd ever seen. That's awesome. And then you have an alien that is completely insubstantial. Now we've had stuff like that before, but, this is a primary adversary that we had on the craft that they were able to, I think, better represent using animation. And obviously, cost effective. The animation is going to be a little bit easier to do than some type of practical effect or even some type of like film thing they would have had to have done with the original series. I just think it's interesting. As soon as the gloves are off, then the imagination goes wild, and here's what they've come up with. It's great stuff. So I think, friends, what we'll do with the animated series is see how this contributes both to the original series, because several people have said there are callbacks to the original series. That's why I stopped before, because I didn't want to ruin anything for myself. And then I want to see anytime we have a callback, I hope we can, hopefully I can recognize it and be able to, point to it and say, I remember that. And then the other thing is, what does it add maybe going forward? And that I don't know. I don't know if it speaks to, the future or or anything like that, because this is what you all have told me is the 4th year of the 5-year mission, with Star Trek Continues, which we are going to be watching, as the 5th year of the 5-year mission. And you all have told me too that Continues literally takes you up almost to the events of the motion picture, which I also haven't seen. Now, all the movies after that I've seen at least once. Wrath of Khan I've seen quite a bit. But again, that's our star chart going forward. Finish the animated series, Star Trek Continues, the TOS movies, and as soon as I start the TOS movies, we will also be starting the Next Generation, friends. But if you could do me a quick favor and like, subscribe, do all that great stuff, it would be greatly appreciated, my friends. And of course, if you want any of these episodes in their full-length format or early, I am several episodes ahead over on Patreon. Join us over there, my friends. And if not, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all these episodes at least a day early. Oh, my friends, but that is then and this is now. And now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from our very first episode of Star Trek, the animated series. So where should we say goodbye from? Well, friends, I'm a bit of a sap. I'm a bit of a pushover. And I say that what we do is we find out where the gravitational reach is of this mystery planet. We make sure that we're just outside of any type of potential energy transference. And what we do is we set up a little listening post. And that little listening post has one job: to talk to the entity on the planet, to let them know, hey, we're willing to talk. You know, you don't have to be lonely. And potentially, maybe if you are brought up to speed on how to conduct yourself inside the galaxy proper, you can rejoin us. But friends, until such time as we get to join again for another bite-sized trek, Vulcan roll, and I'll see ya.